All right, so boom, here go my Chicago icks, aka red flags as a Chicagoan. Number one, why is you walking slow through the tunnel between the Jackson Red and Jackson Blue line? Them is fumes worse than Chernobyl. You're trying to kill us. Move out the way. I do not like people who call it Cloud Gate. You're not special. Stop trying to be bougie. It is called The Bean. If you call it Cloud Gate, you probably went to the Art Institute. In real life, I don't care if you eat Uncle Remus over Harold's. What I worry about is if you eat chicken tenders instead of ordering wings. Bonus points if you don't get mild sauce or lemon pepper. Do not collect 200. Do not pass go. Go straight to jail. Next red flag, taking Lower Whacker and expecting your GPS to work. You don't think, you don't use your brain. Matter of fact, another red flag is if you know exactly where you're going when you're on Lower Whacker. You know who else knows exactly how to get around Lower Whacker? Rats. If you want to call it the Willis Tower, cool. But if you correct people for calling it the Sears Tower, red flag. Like if you're out here correcting people, you were either born in the 2000s or you probably from Wrigley. The next red flag is living in Wrigley. That's it. I don't want to hear it. I'm from the South Side next. Another red flag is if you be having your laptop out on a train and a bus. You're fearless, but don't worry. Somebody's going to change that. Similarly, if you're like constantly unaware of your surroundings, you walk around with your face down in your phone, it's really giving like you're from Skokie. You just here visiting your auntie for the weekend. As a Chicagoan, I don't like being told what to do, but here's part two, my red flags as a Chicagoan, aka Chicago icks. Do not tell me that you're from the city and then I ask you what high school you went to and you say, I went to Evanston High, home of the Eagles. If you're out of town, you can tell people you're from Chicago or the Chicagoland area, but why is you lying to me? You're from Naperville. If you don't know where the bump on Lakeshore Drive is and you speed over it and my head hits the ceiling of the car, red flag, and I'm blocking you and I'm swinging off of you from the back seat. If you like deep dish pizza, cool. I'm not going down that hill, but that's a yellow flag. But if you're steady telling people that's the staple of Chicago, knowing good and well actual Chicagoans eat square cut, tavern style thin crust pizza, you're an enemy of progress. Cut it out. Stop telling tourists, oh yeah, you gotta try deep dish before we motion to exile you. When you're coming out of the subway and you're on the escalator, you're standing to the right and walking to the left. Do not block both sides of the escalator standing. Some of us are always late and we need to run. And I just want to reiterate, do not go to Harold's or Uncle Remus getting chicken tenders. Let me tell you something, and I'm going to zoom in when I say this. Those are chicken nuggets. Those are not wings. You can't help it if you're from Mount Greenwood, but if you're proud of that, that tells me a lot about you. If I say I want tacos and you bring me to Big Wig, red flag. I just really feel like that's how COVID got started. All right, y'all are dragging it, but I will give y'all my random thoughts that didn't make it into my Chicago icks video, aka red flags as Chicago, and let's go. If you live in Wicker Park, that's cool. I like Wicker Park. If you live alone in Wicker Park, you're a Nepo baby trying to pass as rustic, and you might have everyone else fooled, but you're not fooling me. The biggest ick I get is when y'all say any variation of Chicago, like Chi-Town, Chi-City, Chirac, Some of y'all have compasses for brains, and so y'all always want to give somebody driving instructions instead of just letting them use their GPS. Y'all would be like, take Halsted all the way down. Nobody wants to take Western all the way from Logan Square to Beverly. Please let me use my GPS. I'm getting on the expressway. Somebody in the first video reminded me that there is a sub Lower Whacker, so not just lower. Loa. It's given Dante's Inferno, God forbid. Me and my homie were trying to find a parking garage down there, and when I tell you it was like putting lash extensions on an ant, and mind you, the ant wants a volume set with longer like lashes on the outside and then shorter ones on the corner.
Contrary to popular belief, sidewalks are not a one-way street, so please move over before I dislocate your shoulder with mine. Thank you.
Some of y'all tried to come for me for calling it the subway in the last video instead of the train or the L.
The real ick is you calling it the subway. The real ick is you calling it the subway.
Huh? The real ick is y'all not knowing that Chicagoans, especially women from Chicago, don't like being corrected. Shut the hell up. My point in calling it the subway is because I was talking about the elevators in the lower train stations, but that doesn't matter. If that's a hill you want to die on, cool. I will sing at your memorial. The Evanstonians were so mad that I called y'all the Eagles. My thing is, like, how the hell am I supposed to know what a Wildcat is? Where would I have ever seen one? And speaking of what qualifies as a true Chicagoan, I'm coming for the Northsiders once again. If you've never been past Sox 35th, you cannot call yourself a Chicagoan. You don't even know what the rest of the city look like. Chicago could be made out of paper mache and playing cards on the South Side, and you wouldn't even know.